Count money, man. Stack riches. Try and told him I'm a beast, bud.
What's up, gang? Welcome to the G.R.I.N.D. Simon Arias here. Get ready, it's a new day. What's up, gang? Welcome to another episode of the G.R.I.N.D. Get ready, it's a new day. We got Big Perm.
What's up, y'all?
In the house. He's going to run the point today. I think Giovanni pulled up some questions from some of the listeners that have popped up. And Perm is going to go over some of those, and we're just off the cuff, off the dome. There's been no practice.
No practice. Just
Perm
on one.
Can't read that well, so just stick with
help
us.
Me.
You know what I mean?
Be patient. Enjoy this segment. Be patient. And let's have some fun with this, all right?
I love you.
I love you, too, my
Let's
guy.
go. Let's let it rip.
So first, from some of the listeners, they had a question. Now, what are some of the advantages of being surrounded with multiple surroundings? Let me repeat that because I messed that up, guys. See that?
Let's go. Come on. This is where we came from. Let's have fun today.
All right. So what are some advantages of being around multicultural surroundings?
Multicultural surroundings.
Yeah.
So I think, what they're asking is, what it's like to be in 1 minute. The other day, me and you drove,
right,
and you took pictures of me sitting outside of those brick houses. Where was that?
That was in the projects.
Yeah.
Of Pittsburgh. Right?
Yeah, Pittsburgh. Yeah. Stowe Rocks projects.
Yeah.
In 1 minute, we're there.
Right.
And the next minute, I'm sitting in a room of, there's a couple billionaires.
Correct.
And people worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
And within literally the same 24-hour span.
Right.
And so I think, man, the advantages of that is this is a big world. And, a lot of times, people paint themselves in a corner because they get comfortable only dealing with one type of person, group of people, whether it's all Hispanic people or all people with money or all people that are poor, all people that are athletes or all people that are this. And if you really want to impact lives, whether, the mission is because you want to do better in business or you want to just impact and help more people, I feel like it's major to be able to connect with people from all different walks of life, that you could literally drop a person anywhere. And I think it's possible and doable, even if you didn't grow up in a surrounding. See, I feel like part of it, I got to be real and say it's a very unique situation how this all happened.
Right.
I did grow up, on welfare as a kid. I did grow up on the east side of Youngstown. These are facts. Sold a house for $11,000, but I did have a grandmother that cut hair for a living and did okay, that lived in Camel, and people all helped out and pitched in, and I got to go to some better schools. I went to Ursuline. So I got to sit with different people. So I got to grow up with some people over here that nobody else really got to be around. And then I got to go hang out with some people over here that these people never got to be around. And I learned that I had to blend them together. And then playing football, in college, you get people from all different walks of life. So, but I think how a person could do that without growing up in that environment, I think just being real, being authentic, I think is when you fake that you're something that you're not.
Come on.
People can smell that. Real people can smell that.
Yep.
And so I think if you just try to stay true to who you are, I feel like that goes, that can go a long way. I think if you try to learn and understand other people that are in these environments instead of judging them, whether it's, judging a rich person because they're rich or judging a hood person because they're in the hood, like just trying to learn about them and understand them and who they are and why they are the way they are, I think goes a long way. And spending time with people from different walks of life and educating, yourself. I think it's possible for you to become a person that can deal with all walks of life, people from all walks of life, as long as you're open and humble to learn. You stay true to yourself, stay true to who you are, and you care, and you come in with the right mindset and the right purpose. You know what I mean? Not all the time. Sometimes you hear stories of people, getting in random unfortunate situations, getting caught in the crossfire. But 9 times out of 10, it's a reason why people getting their head knocked off. Not all the time, but you was doing something.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think, when I go into some of these places and I know, I'm just there to serve people. I'm just there to help these cats, but I ain't afraid to go there. You know what I mean? Because I ain't afraid to talk to none of y'all. Then it kind of limits the fear that a lot of people, would have. So I think that's one thing. I think, something that could go back to you, Perm. You've been in now environments being with me.
Correct.
Where we go to places and me and you are like literally my road dog.
Right.
You come with me more than my wife.
Right.
So we hit the road. And we hit the road, we go to dinners, we go to Capitol Grill. You've sat with billionaires, you've sat with people that are legends, you know what I mean, legends. And stuff like that. And you're Big Perm.
Right.
And you rock the glasses, the sunglasses, and the chain, and just keep it
real.
Keep it who you are.
Keep it who I am.
Tell me what that looks like from your standpoint, dog.
Man, it feels good. You know what I'm saying? Like you said before, coming into the business, people here don't even know me by my real name. That's why we're still having that segment on who can even find my middle name. But yeah, getting back to that, the hanging around people and then accepting me for who I am, period. That's sweet. You know what I mean? Just being with you, and you're just been rocking me since day one. Same dude. You know what I'm saying? Same size. Never got bigger.
Knew that
you know what I'm saying?
Coming.
Of course that was
Knew
coming.
that was coming.
You know what I'm saying? Still, you've been rocking these since back in the day. This is your relax gear. Always been. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But it feels good to be around these folks, man. And they're just normal cats. Just like you said, they're just normal dudes, man. Just regular dudes. Just like you say, just be open-hearted. You know what I'm saying? Be open-minded. Be humble and just open yourself up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
100%. Second question we got here, man. How important is it?
Thank you.
I'm sorry. How important is constant professional self-improvement? How important is constant professional self-improvement?
I heard you.
All right. Just wanted to make sure I said it twice.
You hit it. You did it right both times.
All right.
100%.
100%.
2 for 2
Let's
on that
go. Ooh, I'm telling you, today's a good day. TGIF, y'all.
I just had the pleasure and privilege, this morning to speak to the Youngstown State football team. And, I talked to them about, the preparation is what you spend most of your time on. The game, one of the points that I went over is a football game is 60 minutes,
right.
15 minutes a quarter. If you play defense, you're only playing 30 minutes max because there's special teams. There's all different types of stuff going on. So if you got 10 games, you play 300 minutes. That's 5 hours.
Right.
You actually play the game.
Right.
I asked the kids how many times, how many hours a week you putting into practice, rehab, training, film, blah, blah, whatever. Number they said was 40. 40 hours a week. So I said, man, if you put in 40 hours a week, that's 2,000 hours a year towards something that you only play 5 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so really when you think about it, it's almost like 400 hours of preparation for 1 hour of actually playing the game.
Right.
And so I think that's what life is. I told these guys, I said, man, if you keep doing the things that you're accustomed to doing while you're playing ball, after that and apply them to your life, you'll crush people.
All the way.
Because if you could still put in that amount of preparation for whatever your job is, whatever your career is, whatever it is that you're doing, if you could put in that much work to prepare in advance before the game starts, whatever, this person's game might be a doctor.
Right.
This person's game may be a truck driver. This person's game may be to run a podcast. This person might own a business. If you prepare and put the work in to develop and prepare yourself and develop yourself and make yourself bigger. It's like, all right, we hit the weight room. We're trying to get bigger, bigger, faster, stronger. There's a lot of programs. That's what they want. Bigger, faster, stronger. But your body ain't going to be bigger, faster, stronger at 50 years old than what it was at 25 years old. Unless you injecting a crazy amount of steroids. Yeah. And it still ain't going to be right.
Nah.
So it's really, it's about, you can get bigger, faster, stronger by developing yourself internally, your mind, your spirit, and your body, all of those things, because you may not be big enough for the position that you want, that you think you want. Because if your talent gets you to a place that your character can't keep you, then you end up falling off. That's when you see people that make it and then they fall off. It's because they don't develop themselves. That their talent may be big enough, they may want it, but the position itself crumbles them because their foundation isn't laid. So I think constant professional self-improvement is critical, not just, all right, I did it.
Right.
I passed. No, it's constant.
Keep on going.
If you don't keep working out, if you work out hard, then you get 6 months, you eat pizza, ice cream, wings, chips, everything you want, and don't work out, 6 months, it's going to be a drastic difference.
It's going to be a drastic.
If it's not constant self-development, it's going to be a drastic difference in 6 months. You could fall off.
So
Maxwell used to say, when you look at somebody on top, understand, like, it's like climbing a mountain, that you can't climb a mountain and get to the top on accident. That's intentional. But you could fall off on accident.
For sure.
You could slip off and fall off on accident. And sometimes people fall off on accident because they're not intentionally developing themselves.
Wow. So why do you think these people, like you say, like they work on a gym, for instance, they put that much work in for gym work or whatever they do. Why do you think they don't take that work ethic and take it to a job? Like why do you think they don't?
I think a couple things.
An example,
one is they're used to having like a dope boss, like a head coach of a football team is usually, not all the time, but he's usually, that's, first of all, that's their boss.
Right.
And he be telling them what to do, hold them accountable, hard on them. And as kids, you either want to play the game so bad or you're on scholarship and you like have to listen or you don't play. But when you get out in business, sometimes you can get away with, I'm late 5 minutes. Oh, the bus was this, or I'm late 5 minutes, or my kids was this. All these excuses start to become acceptable, where in sports, in football, there's no excuse that's acceptable. Usually the whole team got to run. And so I think because of that lack of figure that can like bring that order, to their life, they start to fall off because they haven't adopted the habits themselves to be able to drive it without somebody driving it in them. Like these cats were working out this morning. I spoke to them at 7:15 in the morning. I pulled up at 7 a.m. They had already got done with their workout. That means they started probably by 6 a.m. already. That means they got up probably at the latest 5:30 a.m. 18 to 22 years old. After college, it's a struggle for me to get people to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. All I'm doing is the same shit that I always was doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? In sports, I just never stopped. And so it's like, well, practice starts at 6, so you got to be there. So like in your mind, you gotta make like pretend that practice starts for you at 6 o'clock, and there's a coach there with a whistle. And I think people don't do that because they don't have a coach with a whistle. They don't have playing time that's going to be affected next week if you don't show up, this week. And I think the kids and the people that adopt those habits and take them from athletic backgrounds into the business world would dominate people if they continue to do what it was that they were, consistently doing.
That's a great answer, for sure, for sure. Next question is, which is better, winning or succeeding?
Winning or succeeding, that's a tough one. I think, this may be opposite of what, I didn't have a plan for this. So I gotta hash this out. But not all the time, but a lot of the times if you just win and you focus on winning, all the things that it requires in order to win actually is what you need to be doing anyway, because it's hard to win. So if you focus on winning, all the things that you want end up also transpiring. But I think if I was painted in the corner of saying, the difference between it, or which one would you rather have? Would you rather succeed or would you rather win? I do think it's possible to succeed and not win. I think if you're playing to your best potential and you're doing it the right way and you're doing it for the right reasons, you could be successful and still not win, because life is not fair. Sometimes you can do everything right and not win. Sometimes you can do everything right and you get injured. Your star running back breaks his leg, or hurts his knee, or something happens in your personal life. Your car somebody crashes into your car sitting in front of your house like they just did to you this past week, Perm. That was unbelievable.
Wow.
And the funniest part about it was
second one.
Perm had his car sitting in front of his house.
Yeah.
And randomly during the day, you hear all these tires screeching and pow, and they just totaled your car. They smashed your car broad daylight. Okay. Come out. The person was drinking and driving, severely, intoxicated. And you hear all this screaming going on. And the funniest part to me, was you got to remember, those of you that don't listen all the time, Perm's wife, Precious, we grew up together. We all grew up together. So her mother knew me when I was a kid. I've known her, for 25 plus years.
Who's that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Over 25 years. And Linda was cracking me up. I mean, she just is being exactly who I would expect her to be in that environment. And I love it. And the best is the Puerto Rican music that was playing in the background. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
For the right cost, I'll share this video if you need a laugh that'll bring you to your knees. Okay,
it's a good
if you
one.
want some real hood highlights, okay, and this one with Perm in it, I'll give it to you for a couple thousand. I'll split it with you, Perm.
I love it. My dog.
But sometimes life ain't fair.
No, it ain't.
Sometimes you do everything right, and things happen. So I think you could succeed and have success and not always win. And so I think part of that is succeeding is doing the best that you could possibly do with every ounce of your soul and your body to honor the gifts that you've been given in the situation that you've been given. Play the cards the best that you can, the cards that you're dealt, and do it for the right reasons and do it the right way without stealing, without just doing the wrong things. I think that's how you become successful. So I think you could be successful sometimes and not win.
Another question. Good answer. What about prioritizing our daily goals? Speak on that. Like what should we like? How do you make that work? You know what I mean?
Yep. I think all, like I was talking about with the preparation, it's thousands of hours of preparation for 5 hours of play. And so it's how do you prepare every day? Usually your daily goals is mostly a preparation of something that you want bigger. What is the goal? What is the ultimate vision you have? What is the ultimate goal you have for this year? It's something so big that it can't happen in a day. It happens daily, not in a day. And so I think looking at your daily goals, writing them down helps, things that you want to accomplish, because sometimes you can waste time. I've done it. We've all done it. You go through a day, and if you really look at it, you didn't really accomplish shit. You were BSing around. I think if you don't put your goals on paper of this is what I want to accomplish today, these are the things that are going to get me closer to my goals tomorrow than I was today. And even today, sometimes people think because they didn't get the result today that they're not getting better. Yes, you are. Right. Part of getting better is that you got to take some losses. You got to get your ass beat. Gotcha. Sometimes you learn by dropping the ball, or you learn by failing, or you learn by getting caught in a submission, or you learn, 100%. But you show up the next day and now you're better because you learn how to get out of that situation that you got yourself into in its growth. And so I think if you can prioritize your life, of what needs to happen that day for you, and have that on a schedule, a planned out, mapped out schedule written down, it'll help you to prioritize your thoughts and not go through a day where you don't feel like you got anything accomplished. And I could run this for an hour podcast about how important scheduling is. I mean, how I run on a schedule.
You already know.
Why don't you talk on that before I give some feedback on it? Why don't you talk about what you've seen from me and us when we travel, when we're around each other, like give some things that stand out that people wouldn't understand. Like, for example, people are like, can I get 10 minutes today? Or when can you get a half hour with you today? Wow. Well, people wouldn't understand of like, I don't know where to find the 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Well, I didn't understand prior. You know what I'm saying? Prior to being in this business and working with you, I didn't understand. I was like, yo, you like, bro, I'm tied up. So with you being tied up, so everyone can know the scheduling is very important. You have meetings from starting at the gym 6:15, 6:30 when you're out coming from the work gym, already starting calls, sweating, coming in from,
using that time
on it. Take your shot, maybe 5 10 minutes. Planned. Everything's planned. Everything is scheduled. You schedule from date night to hanging out with your kids, to going to birthday parties, to going to the park, to going wherever. Everything is scheduled. When you're gonna eat, when you're not gonna eat, everything is. I mean, when people don't understand, it is. I have the itinerary. We work together. I have it. So everything is scheduled. Dinners 6:18, not 6:15, Not 6:12, not 6:10, 6:18. We got to be there because it's in the schedule. That's the time that we have to be there. So yes, I know all about it.
Yeah, I think that's critical. I'm actually working with one of the guys that I brought into the business that I think is going to kill it, Jermaine.
Scheduling.
And I've been working heavy with him on scheduling.
Yeah.
And I think it's making an impact, because he got kids, he's married, he wants to train, and he wants to crush the business and build it, and you can do it all. You hear me say that all the time. You can do it all. Yeah. It's not easy. You can't do it all, but if you schedule it, there's 168 hours in a week, and part of that is being able to look at those 168 and you start cutting out the things that are essentials. So when I say cutting it out, I mean cutting it out in a good way. Of saying, okay, first of all, I got to sleep. So how many hours do I need to sleep? Well, last night, I didn't get as much sleep as I normally do. I ran on 5 last night. I don't do 5 all the time. Right. I aim for 8. I usually get 7, 6.5, 7. But I'd say I'm a 7-hour, average sleeper. But once in a while, things happen, and even when we travel, sometimes I don't get it. But I'll try to adjust. And so if we said 7 hours for that, then there's 168 hours. You got 50 off the top of that. You got 118 hours left. And then you put in, all right, what does your wife need? I know everybody should know, like, how much one-on-one time do you need with your spouse? And I'm not going to say it's good or bad. It's just you got to know what that person really needs. And for me, Natalie's not super needy. So I know if I can get like a legit, some spare time throughout the week where we chill and kick it and talk. And I'm not saying like we don't talk at all for the whole week and then we just have a date night.
Right.
But I know if I plug in like a legit date night for us where we got like just us for 5 hours, something like that, we're good. 5 or 6 hours, and then little touch things here and there, but we're good. And then I look at my kids, you know what I mean? How much time do I need with them? And I plug that all in the schedule, for the week. And then you feel it. How did it feel? Did it feel like it was too much to you to not get your work done? Did it feel like it was not enough? You feel, and you got to be able to feel it. And then you start to adapt and adjust your schedule. And if you try it and you fill it all out consistently, over the course of a couple months, you'll start to have your schedule mastered. And you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll be able to start to do it all. So I think the daily goals will help you with that. Start out with writing down like 3 things you want to accomplish for today, and just start winning them. Start knocking those things out. I think that'll go a long way.
So what do you recommend them waking up? Like what do you recommend
I think it all depends on what that person's business is. I think most of the time, people should be up by 6 a.m., to get things done. That's latest. But, let's say I own a restaurant and I'm in the restaurant, till, if it's not possible for me to get out of there until 12 o'clock, by the time I get to bed, it's 1 o'clock. Then I'm going to probably be getting up at 7 o'clock, you know what I mean? Or 8 o'clock, in that, I think it's more of looking like what are you doing with the hours that you are awake? You know what I mean? So if I'm not getting up till 8 o'clock because I was up so late, and it's necessary, not because I'm up late because I'm bullshitting around. I'm up late because this is how I'm running my business. This is what I have to do. And you adjust that schedule, then you have to still get all those things done. You have to still find a way to get the workout in. You have to still find a way to get the books in. You got to still find a way to get the family. You got to still find a way to get it. And I always go to this. If I need to find time from anywhere, I take it from myself first. So from my sleep. So it's like, all right, if I can't get this done, and the only way for me to get this done is if I got to go from wanting 7 hours to get 5 hours, then I got to do it. If that's what I got to do. And then the second thing I'll take it from is my workout time. If I don't control this, because I'm a workout fanatic and I'm a jiu-jitsu lover in all of it now. I just love it all, martial arts, period. If I wouldn't tame myself and fight with myself over this, I would be training 7 days a week. I love it all day. And so I'm like, all right, well, the goal isn't for you to win the UFC title next year. The goal is for you to stay in shape, do what you love, You know what I mean? Do what it is, spread it to other people. But really, I got to run this business.
Gotcha.
And so I'll take it off of that a little bit, the time, or if my workout, I want it to be an hour and a half, I got to condense it to 45 minutes. You know, I'll take it off of those things first, and then I prioritize the things that cannot be dropped. And I think that starts to help a lot with the time.
Count money, man. Stack riches. Try and told him I'm a beast, bud.